And the next question will be by Representative Donna Oberlander.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Secretary. As you're well aware, Act 89 was the most comprehensive funding package in the Commonwealth's history. While definitely not an easy vote for anyone, it was certainly an important vote that rescued our transportation infrastructure from years of financial neglect and enhanced our safety. That being said, there's a pervasive grumble, at least in my district, that the majority of that money is going to mass transit. Could you please give us some idea of the breakdown and help dispel that notion?
Sure. Overall, by year 5, Act 89 will raise between $2.3 and $2.4 billion. And at the upside, about $500 million, a little less than $500 million, go to public transportation. So if you just want to use raw numbers, if you take the high end 2.4 and say, okay, I have 2.4, 1.9 billion. 1.9 billion of the 2.4 goes to highways, bridges, local governments, and the multimodal fund, which is primarily for, I'll say, pedestrian bicycle facilities, transportation-related facilities. But by much like our current investment, about 20% of our budget goes to public transportation, 80% goes to non-public transportation. That's pretty much in line with what this Act 89 does. So that is a myth. The bulk of the money, as has been the case with our budget historically, is going to our highway and bridges. And that's simply because we have 40,000 miles of road and 25,000 bridges to maintain in comparison to the size and scope of our mass transit agencies. It's an appropriate split of funding.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that answer, Mr. Speaker. You mentioned the bikes, and I have to say that I've been working with your department on ATV issues, and I understand that you are in the midst of changing those regulations to help address that concern. Yesterday, we had the Secretary of DCNR, Secretary Ferretti, and I'm hopeful that your organization and hers will work with me and private industry to really capture an economic generator and allow us to start tapping into those tourism dollars as well. We see them flooding to West Virginia with Hatfield-McCoy, and I would love to see them come back to Pennsylvania. So thank you very much for your support.
You're welcome. And again, working with Secretary Ferretti and her staff, we definitely want to work cooperatively to ensure where we can have safe crossings for ATVs. And it's purely a safety issue. And but from our standpoint, the policy will be that if we can show that we have adequate sight distance and it's not going to be an impediment for safety for the users of the highway facility, we certainly want to accommodate that. So it's a matter, as you suggest, working cooperatively with her staff, to plan out where we're going to have these locations, make sure they're safe, and then bring that tourism and dollars back to Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.